Hello, everyone. So today we're going to be doing the 80 words per minute class, number 17, and the 100 words per minute class, number 40. That one's been mislabeled. Is actually number 39. There are only 39 classes in the 100 words per minute playlist. Let's get right into it. We're starting with a drill.
Hello everyone, welcome to the 80 drill class. We're going to start off with a basic phrase review drill. I'm going to give you the phrases first and then I'll read you your paragraph, okay? All right, so we've got to go, to the, in the, for the, I can, very many, if I, and then just so you know, identify would be the long I. So if I is short I, and then if identify would be F long I. Could have. Now, if you write could as K-O, you can phrase could have as K-O-V. And then the word cove would be a long O, so it does not conflict. I can, what is, when is, would have, and then you can phrase if you. And then if you get somebody that says F-U, that would be F-R-B-G-S, U-R-B-G-S. Okay? All right, here's your paragraph. Ready? We plan to go to the mountains for the weekend. Are there very many rentals available in the area? Maybe I can make...
Wait. Okay, very many.
For the weekend.
Very many.
Are there very many rentals available in the area? Maybe I can make reservations in advance. If I could have your lodging directory, I can check what is available. When is the lake open to the public? It would have been nice if you could have taken the trip too.
Okay.
I'm going to give you a drill on word families that end with -ity, which we use our final T. Okay, so let me give you the words first. Quality. Profanity. Locality. Quantity. Priority. Legality. Activity. And with activity, I would go ahead and use 3 strokes with that. AK, come back for TIV, then come back for IT. You don't want to ever just come back for T itself because it would conflict with the. But when your fingers are on the V, when you get into higher speeds, it's just too hard to reach over for the T. So, and keeping that ring finger up. So you're going to want to write it as AK, come back for TIV, come back for IT. Okay? Celebrity, which you can squeeze, SLEB. Come back for RIT. Vicinity. City.
Celebrity.
Priority, which you can squeeze, SLEB. Come back for RIT. Vicinity. City, which I like to use the brief STI. Majority. Utility. Okay, here are your sentences. Again, I love the brief STI for city. All right, here we go. What city do you live in? Will the city council meet tonight? Josh is a celebrity in his hometown. Tell me the locality of the accident. What is the exact locality of the loading strip? Do you live in the vicinity of City Hall? Were you riding your bicycle in the vicinity of the park? He uses a lot of profanity. The case involves the use of a great deal of profanity. Can you certify the legality of this document? Do you question the legality of that instrument? Are you interested in the quality of the product? Mike is in charge of quality control. My utility bills are very high. The utility companies are monopolies. Give this job first priority. What is your first priority? The majority of the testimony is completed. Did the majority of the population vote against the plan? What outdoor activity do you enjoy the most? Do you have to restrict your physical activity? Is the quantity of rugs what you ordered? Did you verify the quantity of books that the library loaned to East High School? Okay, now I have a number drill for you. Okay, all right.
That was
here we go.
difficult.
This is going to be.
That was difficult. There's utility, quantity. Most of these I just guessed on. Utility, utility. 7 different ways to write that one, huh? Really want to make sure that I can write utility correctly. Not sure which one I want to use. Maybe that one. I get confused. That one's strokes. I should try and use the 2-stroker. Quantity. Majority. Locality. Locality. I want to use the 2-strokers. Utility. Monopoly. I don't know how to write that one either. Oh, okay, we have a brief for that one. PHP. Monopoly.
Cities in Kentucky with the population.
Oh my god.
Here we go.
It's gonna be difficult too.
Ederville, 852. Albany, 2033. Alexandria, 8,477. Allen, 193. Allensville, 189. Anchorage, 2,408. Arlington, 324. Ashland, 21,684. Auburn, 1,340. Audubon Park, 1,473. Bancroft or Bancroft, 494. Augusta, 1,190. Bardstown, 11,700. Bardwell, 723. Barlow, 675. Beattyville, 1,307. Beaver Dam, 3,409. Bedford, 599.
Is that it?
Okay,
Got most of those
stop
wrong.
there. There's more, but we'll go ahead and stop there. I've got some consonant compounds for you. And this focuses on initial
Got 2
BR,
minutes left.
initial DR, final CH. Okay, here we go. Brian brought a loaf of bread. The brown brushes belong to Brett. On Tuesday, are we meeting for breakfast or brunch? The British fleet sails for Britain on Wednesday. The bracelet and the bracket are made of brass. We drove the car to the end of the driveway. Sam dragged the drum to the dump. Sally dreamed about the dress. Ellen dropped the drink on the drill. The druggist sent his drip dry jacket to the dry cleaners. The dreadful drizzle continued to cause the boat to drift. The coach will reach a decision on Friday. Was the hitching post 1 inch above the branch? For lunch, we had a sandwich and a bunch of grapes. The quiche was much too rich. The witch watched the man attach the chain to the latch. The matches belonged to Mitch.
That's it. 11 minutes gone by that quick. Jury charge now.
Hello everyone, welcome to the 80 Literary and Jury Charge. We're going to start off with a small selection from Don't Sweat the Small Stuff, and this is on Don't Interrupt Others or Finish Their Sentences. Here we go, ready? It wasn't until a few years ago that I realized how often I interrupted others and or finished their sentences. Shortly thereafter, I also realized how destructive this habit was. not only to the respect and love I received from others, but also for the tremendous amount of energy it takes to try to be in two heads at once. Think about it for a moment. When you hurry someone along, interrupt someone, or finish his or her sentence, you have to keep track not only of your own thoughts, but of those of the person you are interrupting as well. This tendency, which, by the way, is extremely common in busy people, encourages both parties to speed up their speech and their thinking. This, in turn, makes both people nervous, irritable, and annoyed. It's downright exhausting. It's also the cause of many arguments because if there's one thing almost everyone resents, it's someone who doesn't listen to what they are saying. And how can you really listen to what someone is saying when you are speaking for that person? Once you begin noticing yourself interrupting others, you'll see that this insidious tendency is nothing more than an innocent habit that has become invisible to you. This is good news because it means that all you really have to do is to begin catching yourself when you forget. Remind yourself before a conversation begins, if possible, to be patient and wait. Tell yourself
Thank you, Saku.
to allow the other person to finish speaking before you take your turn. You'll notice right away how much the interactions with the people in your life will improve as a direct result of this simple act. The people you communicate with will feel much more relaxed around you when they feel heard and listened to. You'll also notice how much more relaxed you will feel when you stop interrupting others. Your heart and pulse rates will slow down, and you'll begin to enjoy your conversations rather than rush through them. This is an easy way to become a more relaxed, loving person.
That was difficult.
Okay, I've got some legal terms for you, and then I've got a paragraph. you're going to hear illegal, criminal, rightful, robbery, property. The brief for that's PRORT. Intention, admission, confession, larceny, denial, voluntary, which I write that as VO, voluntary, and then if it's voluntarily, I would just come back for the LAE or L long E. Possession, ownership, OYP, defense, DEFS, accusation, illegal, and legal's L long EL, so you can just write ill and then come back for L long EL for illegal. Okay, here is your
first. I always forget how to write possession. Not intuitive to me at all. Okay.
Paragraph, ready? The illegal taking and carrying away of the personal property of another with no intention of returning the property to its rightful owner is called larceny. Robbery is the taking of the property in the presence of its owner with no intention of returning it. Ownership is legal title to property. Possession is the physical control of property. Criminal intent is necessary for a person to be found guilty of a crime. A confession is a voluntary statement offered by a person admitting involvement in a crime. An admission is not a confession. Defense is the denial of the accusation. All right, I've got an article for you, and it's called Never Turn Your Back. Don't fool with Mother Nature. A moment's carelessness can cost you your life.
Okay, let's go.
Here we go. Americans have always had an ambivalent attitude toward the outdoors. The earliest settlers viewed the wilderness as a kind of savage beast that had to be beaten back and subdued. Today, we lap up reports of bear attacks, snake bites, violent weather, and natural disasters. We still fear the forces of nature. I think that much of our fear is misplaced. As a sportsman for 30 plus years and a survivor of some very close scrapes, it is not the wild world I fear, but rather my own temerity. One of my first lessons in humility occurred on the Delaware River when I was a teenager. My companions and I were fishing on a sunny May day from a canoe on a deceptively smooth drift that brought us close to an inviting tree-lined bank. We all grabbed our rods and concentrated on the fish rather than on where the canoe was going. Suddenly, a tree limb appeared at chest level. Instinctively, foolishly, the three of us grabbed for it. The current swept the canoe out from under us, leaving us clinging to the limb, neck deep in icy water. I can still remember how frighteningly powerful the water was, how it tugged and tore at us, trying to break our hold on that tree. We made it to shore, hand over handing the length of the limb. When we found the canoe, it was wrapped around a rock. We needed a block and tackle to pry it free of the river's strong grip. Although I have since made it a practice always to have someone on the oars or a paddle when floating any river in any kind of boat. Lapses in judgment that turn into big trouble can take many other forms. I was once surf casting on Mexico's west coast. The surf was up. It wasn't angry water, just fine. Breaking waves that had lured a school of fish close to shore to feed on the mullet in the wave wash. I was getting nearly a strike per cast and had just lost a big yellowfin corvina that broke off, taking my lure. I was too excited to waste time wading back to shore to tie on a new lure. Instead, I simply turned my back to the surf, clamped my rod butt between my knees, and knotted a new lure to my line right there. The wave that hit me was bigger than any I had seen that afternoon. It slammed me into the sand and rolled me like a rag doll toward the beach. Then it began to drag me seaward as my waders ballooned in the undertow, while the huge wave retreated from the beach. It sucked enough water back to sea so that I could find my footing and stand in thigh-deep water. The weight of the water in my waders anchored my feet to the sand. Once the strong undertow subsided, I managed to go back up onto the beach. Another failure to recognize potential disaster almost cost me my wife. We were hunting for broadbills in the Great South Bay off Long Island, New York, a form of waterfowling where you shoot over decoys from a low-profile boat, a scooter anchored well offshore. The best hunting takes place during bitter cold weather when the bays ice up. Pockets of ice-free water open in the mantle of ice, and broadbills are drawn to them like chickens to cracked corn. Because it is such a cold sport, it is customary for one person to man the scooter while the other keeps warm in a nearby car. I just done my turn in the rig, and as we changed places in the tender, I told Jen that I would run to town for some hot soup and coffee. It was a sunny, calm day with temperatures in the low 20s. Every sign pointed toward stable ice, but when I returned 10 minutes later, my knees buckled. Inexplicably, the ice had broken loose from the shore and was drifting toward Fire Island, some 4 miles away. The scooter, decoys, and Jen were caught up in its leading edge. Although the scooter was equipped with oars, Jen found that rowing into the ice sheet was impossible. She tried to break ice in front of the bow, then paddle a few feet forward, but the oncoming ice would meet the boat before it made any headway. I jumped into the tender and held my breath. I had no idea if the 5-horse outboard had enough power to break a path to the scooter or enough reserve to get us both back to shore. The motor raced, kicking up a rooster tail of spray. The boat inched forward, the soft salt ice buckling under it. I got a line to the scooter, bid farewell to the decoys, and kissed both the sand and gin when we got ashore. People don't deliberately set out to freeze or drown or slide off steep trails, but things happen all the time. Every autumn there are stories of sportsmen who leave home unprepared for sudden changes in the weather and fall victim to exposure. Every spring and summer, easily avoidable boating accidents claim lives, and fishermen are swept away from a combination of currents and slippery rocks and a moment's carelessness. Does this mean we should fear the outdoors? Of course not. But it does mean we should never fail to respect it. If we always keep in mind the human capacity to get into trouble by failing to think ahead, we will never, through arrogance, turn our backs on nature's awesome potential. Okay, and that concludes our literary and jury charge for the
Damn, that went on for so long. A whole 22 minutes just passed by.
Hello everyone, welcome to the 80 Q&A practice. Our first selection is going to be plaintiff attorney questioning. Okay, ready? Here we go.
Plaintiff.
You mean a 9-year-old boy? You say he's 9. He's 12. He's either 12 or 13 now. Do you know what school he is enrolled in? He isn't in school.
What?
What school is he supposed to be in? Well, he was supposed to be in San Fernando Middle School. I believe he was supposed to have been in there. How would he get there? How would he get there? It would be by bus. Is there a bus that comes up to your property where you live now? His mother lived all over the area. His mother used to live on Walnut. Then she moved to another place. So you don't know? I don't know. She doesn't say where she goes for some reason. You were just taking care of him? That's right. He needs someone to mother and father him. I see. You were sort of like an informal foster parent? Right. He loved horses. When the kid got out of hand, you know, they all go through that. Was there anything in particular that might have caused the breach between you and Brian? No. just a culmination of things? Yes, I just felt that he should go home, you know. You mentioned that he had a reputation for being a storyteller. Yes, he does tell tales.
Hey,
All right, switching to a different transcript.
culmination. Got that one wrong.
This is going to be plaintiff attorney questioning again. Ready? You have had occasion to go over this testimony with various law enforcement agents, haven't you? Yes, I have. Has it been pointed out to you that what you said at that time had to be false because the Holiday Inn didn't open until February of 2015? I don't remember that. So what you told the court and jury in the federal case as to time was false, wasn't it? I could have made a mistake, but it wasn't false. And you have a vivid memory, at least. You pretended to in front of the jury. Yes, I did. Well, now, going on beyond that point for a moment. Were you always sure that this bookmaking operation was active in 2014 or earlier? It was in 2014 or earlier, yes. Well, did you ever think it was earlier? No, it wasn't. I am sure it wasn't later. Did you ever think it was 2015? No, it wasn't 2015. I know, but you said it was 2015 on another occasion, didn't you? I said approximately at that time. I wasn't sure about that. Well, you have always been clear on the fact that you went to work at the betting window at the Santa Fe racetrack in October 2014. That is correct. Well, now, this matter involving trafficking of narcotics took place at an earlier time. Is that true? I don't remember that. Well, let's continue. You have been convicted of a felony of bookmaking yourself, have you not? Yes, I received an unconditional pardon. Before the pardon, you were sentenced to the Nevada State Prison outside Las Vegas. Is that right? That's true. Did you serve time? Yes, I did. What was the nature of the bookmaking operation of which you were convicted? It was an operation that involved thousands of dollars. Where was the operation? At the Club Reno in downtown Las Vegas. Now, the reason I ask you about that is that you swore 3 months ago in federal court that you were never a bookmaker, didn't you? That's correct. Okay, let me ask you how you reconcile in your mind this statement you made to the grand jury in this case. I was the biggest bookmaker in Nevada. I said that. Now, earlier in federal court, you had been convicted of selling narcotics, hadn't you? It was painkillers containing morphine. Then in 2009, you invented a substance containing narcotics for doping horses. That is not true. In what year did you receive your pardon? 2012. Now, to quote directly from the first trial of this case in federal court, when mentioning the pardon to the jury, you said, I was completely rehabilitated. I don't remember saying that. No. You were pardoned. You never again violated the law. You deserved a pardon. Is that it? Yes. Excuse me. What was the year you received the pardon again? 2012. Now, within a very short time, as you described this morning, you were passing bribes to public officials, weren't you? Yes, I was. By 2013, you were making large bets, weren't you? $10,000 a day. It was like $20,000 to $30,000 a day. At the same time that you were betting, were you informing the Internal Revenue Service as to the identity of other bookmakers you did business with? No, not necessarily. Did you give the names of all the bookmakers? Most of them, yes. You said most of them. What does that mean? What? Did you withhold information and names? No, I did not. And that concludes our 80 Q&A practice.
That was interesting. I don't know what a bookmaker is. Something about gambling? Huh. Interesting. Okay, let's do the test.
Hello everyone, welcome to the 80 Q&A test. Plaintiff attorney is Ms. MS period Heinz, capital H-E-I-N-Z. Defense attorney is Mr. Walker, W-A-L-K-E-R. Again, plaintiff attorney, Ms. MS period Heinz, H-E-I-N-Z. Defense is Mr. Walker, W-A-L-K-E-R. And this is going to start with the court.
Okay, the court.
Ready? Let's see what you are referring to. If we look on the back, there is a date on there. He is showing him the same document that you have just showed him, Your Honor. Those, however, are other copies. But my point is, this is a deed of trust, and it says, for the purposes of securing the payment of the debt of one note in the following form. Then it shows the form of the note, but that is not the note. Is there another note? Yes, you must have it. It's with that paperwork. Is it your recollection that the note was written at or about the same time the money transferred hands? As far as I can see, yes. Was title to the house moved to the trust at any time? We are talking about the house being moved. That is correct. That is the big mystery. Why is that a mystery? Because I know as much as you do. I'm sure you do the same as I do, because this is something that came out of the air that I had no idea what they were up to. Why don't you tell us what happened? Object to that question. It's vague and ambiguous. Time, place, what you are talking about. Sustained. Rephrase your question. All right. Was title moved to the trust? Title to the house? I guess it was. I had a document. Why I got the document, I don't know. When did you receive the document? I don't remember. Did Randy discuss moving title to the house with you? I knew nothing until I had received that particular document. What did you receive? I read that the house was transferred to me. Was this to you or to the trust? It was to the trust. I said to myself, what is this? What is going on? I was so confused and I didn't understand. What was it that you received? Was it a deed? What kind of document was it? Do you know? I haven't got it with me because I had to turn it over the minute I received it. I turned it over to Mr. Vale in a big package. My first attorney was a Mr. Boyd. When I first received a complaint that the house was turned over to you, not only to myself, but to Mr. Stein, I took both documents and took it right over to Mr. Boyd, my former attorney.
Is that it? Yep, that's it. I did pretty good this time. Wow. And it was 4-person too. 4 voice, I mean. I only missed like maybe a couple sentences, like this one for the court, sustained. No, I mean this one. Object. I wrote it wrong. It was supposed to be object, not objection. Okay. Let's move on to the next. Practice. 100 words per minute. Let's fucking go. Oh no. I hope we don't get the cheese book again. I hate the cheese book.
Welcome to drill practice. Let's start out with this drill that is focusing on states and numbers.
States. It's gonna be tough.
Here we go.
I'm not really good on states.
Montana, 1,265.
Already with Montana.
1,265. Nevada, 7,039. New York, 14,610. Nebraska, 3,857. Oregon, 2,911. Kentucky, 7,270.
Kentucky. What again? Fuck.
7,270. North Dakota, 1,900.
North Dakota.
34.
What about the right idea?
West Virginia, 12,102.
West Virginia.
New Mexico, 6,098. South Dakota, 5,075.
South Dakota now.
North Carolina, 61,909. New Hampshire, 4,098. Wisconsin, 31,426. Louisiana, 8,298. Tennessee, 40,776. Vermont, 12,555. Michigan, 2,330. Virginia, 62,657.
Tough. It was states. I'm not good on states yet. I keep forgetting what the briefs are. Like, what is North Dakota again? Nord.
Now let's practice some sentences focusing on consonant compounds, initial B, L, and BR.
BL and BR. Okay.
Ready? Here we go. Bruce bragged about his brain power. She brandished the broom at the mouse. The bracket is made of polished brass. Blair saw that the pretty bride was a brunette. He told Blair to take a deep breath and blow. Don't blame him for breaking the brickwork. A branch library is a block away from here. They braved the blistering heat of the day.
Okay. Only one I messed up on was Blair. I don't think that's how you spell the name Blair. I think it's Blair. Oh, I got that wrong.
Now let's practice some proper names, and it looks like these might be last names. Ready? Here we go. Field, Rossi, Perez, Cohen, Grant, Shell, Burns, Miller, Saxon, Castle, Calvin, Lopez, Ikeda, Lester, Farley.
I'm not sure what the point is in practicing proper names if not giving me the spellings. Because I don't know how to write Rossi, Owen. I think that has a W in it, probably. No, an H.
And
Farley? Like what?
words
Like I've never heard that last name before.
Legal tangle tamers. So specifically, they are legal words, and kind of to tame, I guess, tame your fingers so they don't get tangled up. All right, let's give them a try. Here we go. Release, addict, reasonable, equitable, entrapment, deduction, executor, journeyman, domicile, paralegal, explicit, irregularity, competency, adultery, controversy, affirmative, disputed.
Got 4 minutes left of this one. Ad starts soon, so I'll just pause. Executor. That's so many ways to spell it. Jesus. So the fact that I got it wrong is actually amazing. Okay. Regularity. Okay, be right back. Ad break starts soon. Okay, we're back. Equitable. One I also got wrong.
All right, a little more legal practice, legal terminology, and these are actually double words, triple words. Okay, little short phrases, a little variety here of legal terminology. Ready? Here we go. Street or highway, true and accurate, evidence or testimony, arguments and remarks, truth or untruth, fanciful or speculative, by and between, fair, and equitable.
Equitable. Equitable.
Witnesses and exhibits. Ability and opportunity. Words and phrases. Same or similar. Support and maintenance.
Maintenance. Mains. Maintenance. Similar. Slar. Smar. Slar. Similar. Slar. Equitable.
All right, now some words for some vocabulary development. Ready? Here we go. Intoxication. Battery. Burglary. Capacity. Principle. Applicable. Publicly. Mistake. Residual. Synonymous. Ordinarily. Entitled. Disaffirm. Presentment. Uncertain. All right, and now we'll conclude.
Residual. Got that one wrong, so I need to practice a little bit. Residual. That one's hard because it's a Z. Residual. What else? Publicly. Synonymous. I'm not sure how to spell synonymous. So let me check. Synonymous. Oh, I know how to spell it. Never mind. Synonymous. No. Synonym. Synom. Synom. Non-miss. Synonymous. Maybe I should just add it to my dictionary manually. I'm having a hard time getting it to come up. Non. Okay, I have it in now, so I should be able to write it. Anonymous. Yeah, there it is. Now let me go to is jury charge.
Welcome to literary and jury charge practice.
Pretty quiet.
Positive attitudes. Ready?
Ready.
Why am I talking about how to build self-confidence and focus on positive thinking, you might ask? The truth is that positive thinking and self-confidence tend to go hand in hand. When you find one, you often find the other. And when you find one is lacking, you also find the other is lacking. People who have confidence in themselves also tend to be positive about the world around them, and those who are positive about the world around them tend to be confident in
I need to look up confidence. Getting it wrong, and she's saying it multiple times. Oh, there's two briefs for it. KFT and KFD.
Themselves. This is why I think it is crucial to have time dedicated to teaching others how they can boost their self-confidence. The effects of low self-confidence can be debilitating. Those who lack confidence in themselves rarely try new things, rarely take chances, and rarely get ahead in life. For the most part, those who lack confidence have a negative self-image. They feel as if their life is out of their control, and in many cases, these people can become depressed and isolated. On the other hand, those who do have self-confidence not only believe that they are in control of their lives, they make use of that control. They set clearly defined goals, and they tend to get ahead in life. They try new things, and they take calculated risks.
Calculate.
They enjoy life, and they look forward to new challenges.
Okay. That's done with.
All right, now let's finish up this jury charge with the subject Cancer.
Cancer.
Ready? Here we go. On the tongue, also, cancer may develop from a sore that fails to heal, either by itself or after a short period of simple medication. A malignant tumor in this location may appear as a lump on the tongue or just underneath its surface. Such a lump may be topped by a whitish scab or a painful open sore. Sudden paralysis of the tongue, particularly if it is accompanied by pain, is another danger sign. So is bleeding or the discharge of odorous pus from the tongue, since these may be the product of a cancerous sore that has become infected. Only a doctor can tell you if you have cancer or not, and only a doctor can treat you if it turns out that you have cancer.
Didn't do very good on that. Paralysis. Broke it up into word parts, but yeah, there's a simpler way to write it. Paralysis. Accompanied. Like that one. Accompanied.
All right,
Paralysis.
let's get back to our literary on self-confidence and positive attitudes.
Confidence. How do I write confident again?
Ready? Without self-confidence, it is likely that anyone will rarely advance in life, and they may become depressed and lose interest in life. More importantly, though, the more someone lacks self-confidence, the more it shows. The more it shows, the more others will treat that person poorly, and the person's self-confidence will continue to drop, and it becomes a vicious downward cycle. On the flip side, those who possess confidence in themselves tend to be treated as if they have something to offer because they portray this very thing. Having self-confidence is vital to advance in any aspect of life. Those who possess high self-confidence tend to be more positive, and
To the point where I might just add a different way of writing possess. Possession.
self-confidence tend to be more positive, and for this reason, they attract more positivity into their lives. Because of this, self-confident people tend to be overall happy and fulfilled individuals. By now, you are probably thinking, well, I know I want to be self-confident, but what does that mean? What is self-confidence? To have confidence in oneself means to have a firm belief in one's abilities, to believe that you can achieve that which you have set out to achieve. It means that you trust in yourself. It is more than this, however.
Okay. God, having self-confidence is vital to advance any aspect of leaf.
All right, we will get back to that. Now we are going to try what's called a land description.
What is a land description?
Lots of good number practice.
Oh, come on, not numbers again.
Ready?
We already did numbers.
Here we go. The administrator is authorized and directed to convey by quitclaim deed.
Okay, hold up. Administrator and authorize. Okay, this is administrator. Okay. Authorize.
The administrator is authorized and directed to convey by
Authorize. Administrator again.
practice. Ready? Here we go. The administrator is authorized and directed to convey by quitclaim deed and without consideration to the state of Illinois for wild. Ready? Here we go. The administrator is authorized and directed to convey by quitclaim deed and without consideration to the state of Illinois for wildlife conservation or is authorized and directed to convey by quitclaim deed and without consideration to the state of Illinois for wildlife conservation or recreational purposes, all right, title, and interest of the United States in and to the following described lands, together with buildings and improvements thereon, located in Township 34 North, Range 9, east of the 3rd Principal Meridian, Will County, Illinois, containing approximately 2,400 acres, more or less. In Section 21, all of that property lying south of the Des Plaines River. In Section 20, all of that property lying south of the Des Plaines River. All of Section 28. In Section 29, all of that part lying south of the Des Plaines River, except a portion of the southwest corner known as the Hoagland Yacht Club, all of Section 32 south of the Des Plaines River, except the northwest corner known as the Hoagland Yacht Club, and all of Section 33 except a triangular piece out of the southeast corner, being a public entrance off U.S. Route 66 into Blodgett Road.
God, with names, it's like, what's the point? I don't know how to write them. He's not giving me any spellings, so it's like, what's the practicing names? Getting cold.
All right, back to self-confidence and positive attitudes.
Okay. The self-confidence.
Ready? Having a belief in our ability to succeed comes from experiences in any aspect of life. Being self-confident, however, means that we believe in our own abilities to perform and achieve in any activity, regardless of the outcome. Those who have true self-confidence do not dwell on the outcome. They do not worry if they will succeed or fail. Having confidence in yourself means that you learn from your failures and you continue to grow. Truly confident people know themselves well and do not rely on the opinions of others. They do not listen to those who say they cannot do something. They assess their best qualities and they use them to their advantage.
Vantage. Vantage.
This article was written in the JCR Journal of Court Reporting, and it was actually written by a court reporter.
Oh, okay.
An RPR. Her name is, it looks like Janelle Adams, and she's an RPR, CRI.
Oh, she's also an instructor.
From Mississippi.
Okay. I think CRI is court reporting instructor, probably. Certified reporter instructor. I don't know. Not sure what a CRI is, actually.
That's next.
Probably an instructor.
Practice.
You can get certified as that.
Ruling of the court.
I'm not sure what you need to make on the test to qualify for that, though.
Ready? Here we go. The record will show that the court has conferred at length in chambers with counsel. I believe it would be in the best interests of the parties and the children that the court obtain from the probation department an extensive report which will go into the backgrounds of both families, the circumstances at home, and all of the other material facts, which of course it's impossible for the court to do. The court is appointing the probation department to make a formal report on the basis of which the court will be in a better position to evaluate the issues which are involved in this case respecting these children. The primary concern of the court is to see that the best interests and welfare of the children shall be served. Accordingly, the court will appoint the probation officer to make a complete report of the surroundings of the two homes and the parties themselves, and any other facts bearing upon the matter of the welfare of these children.
Welfare. What? Welfare? Okay, well, it looks like I have to use for that.
All right, now for some literary practice, and the subject of this is student report. Before you ask a court reporting student, why does school take so long?
School takes a really long time, yeah. It's really tough to speed build. I'm experiencing it right now.
Before you ask a court reporting student, why does school take so long? Consider the following. When people keep asking me why school takes so long, I like to show them my steno machine. I turn my display onto English, so what I write comes out in English. I'll write their names and a simple sentence. Then I'll hand them my machine and ask them to write their own names themselves. They stare at the unmarked keys. Then they try to make sense of them. Not having the year and then some that it took to learn theory, they can't do it. They can't spell their own names. Then I take my machine back, change the display to only show steno, and write something like the cow jumped over the moon. I ask them to read that simple sentence. It's in steno. They can't. I tell them that the next time they ask me why my schooling is taking so long, they had better be able to at least write their names and read a simple sentence in steno. It tends to quiet them down a bit. Wait, there's more. But here's some food for thought. Maybe more people would have a deeper understanding if they knew the following information. The average length of time for steno school is somewhere between 3 and 5 years. Many factors go into this.
Oh, that's it. Okay. Time for the Q&A.
Welcome to Q&A practice.
I honestly don't think it's very fair to ask people to like
some two voice
to read steno like that, because even
our fingers move.
Even between court reporters, it's tough to read each other's steno notes.
And we will start with defense attorney.
Defense attorney.
Ready?
Okay.
In your senior year, where were you starting first string and you hadn't played before? That is correct. Didn't Mr. Lewis also play fullback? Yes, he did. So you alternated? That is correct. Did you play any other sports besides football? No, I didn't. Did Mr. Lewis? Yes, he did. What position? Various positions. Did you play varsity your senior year because you wanted to? Yes, I wanted to play. Do you recall the incident that is the subject of this lawsuit? Yes, I do. What is your best recollection of the date of the incident? March 8th. And approximately what time did the incident occur? Approximately 11:30. That's in the evening, yes, during the rest of the deposition. If I refer to the incident or the accident, I am referring to that, okay? Okay. Where did the incident occur? At the Malibu Grand Prix. Where was that? In Long Beach. What night of the week was that? A Saturday night. Did you play football that evening? No. Did you usually play football Friday nights? Yes. All right. Now, when was the last time you spoke with Ray about this incident? I talked to him yesterday. Did he tell you what to say? No, he didn't. What did he tell you to do? To just tell what happened. Did you discuss what went on in his deposition? No, we didn't. What else did you discuss about the deposition? He just told me that you asked questions. Did he mention what questions? No, he didn't. How long was your conversation? About 10 minutes. Did you discuss anything related to the deposition? No, not really. We just talked about school.
That went by really fast. Was that really at 100? It feels like it was like at 120 or 140 or something. Like, I couldn't keep up at all. Unusual. I feel like it wasn't at 100. But maybe that's just because they were, I don't know, they were going so, she was going so fast.
All right, now for some voice practice.
Better not be at that speed.
We'll start with plaintiff attorney. Ready?
No.
Okay. Did anyone through the course of the investigation ever tell you that they saw the actual impact happen? No. Did anyone ever tell you throughout the course of your investigation of this accident that they saw the trajectory of how Banks was thrown once impact happened? No. Or the pattern or his flight in any way? Correct. Anybody tell you that? No. As best you know it from both talking to Ms. Rios and from reviewing the statements that she gave to the Spanish-speaking officer Sanchez, she never saw the motorcycle prior to impact. True? Correct.
Yeah, I have a drink of water.
Excuse me. And she never described any type of flight or any manner in which the rider of the motorcycle took following impact, correct? Yes. What you have on the diagram, you have some lines attributed to flight patterns, if you will, of the motorcyclist. You're assuming those type of flight patterns, correct? Correct. And you're assuming that what you have attributed to the vehicle movement, you're assuming those movements, and that's why you put them on the sketch, correct? Did anybody else complete this report? Strike that. Did anybody else complete this sketch we have here as Exhibit 4 other than you? no. With regard to this entire report, if you would go through this report page by page for a moment, and I'm really interested in any pages that you did not prepare. Okay, page 5, which is the factual diagram. Okay, page 6, which is Officer Scott, supplemental regarding the physical evidence legend. And I think that might go through page 8, does it not? Correct. So 6 through 8, you did not prepare. Yes. Okay. And then from 8 all the way through the end of the narrative through page 24. Okay. You prepared the rest of it. Yes. Okay. I see where it says, for example, the spring road, you measured it here as 19 feet. Do you see that? Yes. And the lanes of Crestview at 12 feet each, correct. And the shoulder being 6 feet on that would be the south shoulder, yes. And then I noticed here on page 9 under facts, you put on line 12, it says, quote, all times, speeds and measurements are approximate. Correct? Yes. So with regard to those measurements, did you pace those measurements? I believe that the ones for the sketch were actually obtained using a roll meter, versus the total station system. Do you have a memory today of actually using a roll meter as opposed to pacing it? Yes. On this accident? Yes. Okay. So we can at least we know today that these measurements of the lane size and the shoulder size, those are accurate, correct? Have they changed between the day of the accident and today? Calls for speculation. I'm unaware if they were or not. Do you still patrol the area from time to time? Every now and then. Okay, when is the last time you think you patrolled the area where this accident happened? We went through there maybe a month ago. Okay, did you see any changes? When I say changes, I don't mean changes in maybe a tree got bigger. I mean any changes in the look of the road itself from the day of the accident to when you were there a month ago. It appears about the same. Okay, while you were at the scene of the accident, did you ever inquire of anyone at the scene if they were aware of any witnesses to this accident that you did not include as witnesses? No. Are you aware of there being a Ms. Masters who witnessed this accident? I'm unaware of that.
I was looking at the words per minute meter. It was going up to 134 at least. Damn, it really was going really fast. Why would you do that to me?
This is a 100.
Okay, let me lower the volume.
Q&A practice test. Plaintiff Attorney Mr. Morris, capital M-O-R-R-I-S,
Hopefully this will go slower.
Defense Attorney Ms.
Not
MS
130,
Becker,
140.
capital BECKER.
Okay. Who's going first?
And we'll start with defense attorney.
Okay.
Ready? And of course, if he was going to do that, put it this way, if he had wanted to kill Sue Hallback, he could have simply called her directly instead of calling your office and leaving a red trail, easy trail right to his house, couldn't he? Yes. Thank you. I have nothing further. Mr. Morris, any other questions? No. Very well, you are excused. Members of the jury, that takes us to noon, so we'll take our lunch break at this time and resume at 1. I will remind you again, do not discuss the case or any of the testimony you have heard this morning or anything else about this case during the noon hour. All right, counsel, are there going to be any other outside the presence of the jury matters to address this afternoon that you are aware of? No, Judge, not that I can think of. I would and I should have. I move the admission of all those exhibits that I referred to, which are looks like 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Well, 24 she said she couldn't identify, so we'll object to that. Doesn't seem that he posted it to the jury when she said she couldn't identify it, but it should not be received. It was not identified. She did identify it as Sue's handwriting. She identified it as a private party log that's used in their business. The only thing she couldn't identify was the date, but that will be linked up by the prior witness who testified that on October 10th, 2005, a photo was taken of that very car that's listed there, Mr. Morris, which is Exhibit 16. I don't object to the relevance in that it appears to link up, but she couldn't identify it. I think she identified some elements of it. The date she couldn't identify, but that's by the nature of the exhibit, though. Actually, I think the dates repeated again a little higher where it's easier to see. At any rate, I'm going to move all the exhibits. Thank you. See you at 1. At 1, you said? Yes. At this time, we are back on the record. Mr. Morris, you may call your next witness. State would call Kurt Drum, Your Honor. Raise your right hand. Please be seated. Please state your name and spell your last name for the record. Curtis W. Drum, D-R-U-M-M. Mr. Drum, if you could sit back just a little bit. You are a little loud. Tell the jury, please, where are you from? I live in Manitowoc. And were you asked on the 4th of November of 2005 to assist law enforcement officers in search efforts for Sue Hallback? Yes, I was. And what were you asked to help with? At that point, I didn't know the name or anything else, just that I was asked to help search for a missing person.
Okay, that's it. That one also went by really fast. So I didn't do very good. If only she were slower, I probably would have done a lot better. Well, I just finished all that I had left. Let me a little like on the video. I'll be redoing the 100 words per minute class. Because I'm obviously still not there yet. I'm the 43rd like. Ow. Okay. Let's raid Batty Baka. Let me just see how long. He's been at it. Almost an hour. That's good. Okay. Let's raid Batty Baka. I'll be back tomorrow for Yakuza Kiwami 2. We've still got some sub-stories to do. They keep opening up on the map. So I keep having to pause the main story. That's it for today. Goodbye, everyone.